investor channel. So if you are an option seller or an option buyer, so basically every option trader needs to look at certain data points before deciding what options to buy or what options to sell. So there is a lot of data which needs to be checked before we enter into an options trade. So if you are an option trader, then this video can be very helpful to you in checking all the data points which you need to be careful about before entering any option trade. So this video is of 3 parts. I will be discussing where to check the option premiums, option chain, and option Greeks. And then I'll show you where you can check the payoff chart. You can plot the payoff chart of any strategy which you are thinking of entering, and then based on the chart you can decide your probability of profit and loss, and maybe you can choose to enter the trade or not. And then I will also show where to check the implied volatilities and the results calendar. So if the results of an FNO stock are coming soon in the future, then you should be careful, because usually stocks tend to move wildly when it is near the results. So, and any other info which is available for futures and options stocks, that can also be seen. So let's get started. So here I have opened Zerodha, and in Zerodha I want to basically I'm using Zerodha as a gateway to enter into Sensible. So if you have a Zerodha account or any other broker account which has a tie-up with Sensible, so I will be using Sensible through Zerodha login. So if you want to check the option chain and option Greeks of any underlying, you can just enter the name of the stock. So here I am taking the example of Reliance, and add any futures and options contract into the watch list. So I can add, let us say I just add March 1800 call. So now when I hover over here and this go into this triple dot menu, I can see option chain. If you click on option chain, it will give you a small snapshot of some of the derivative related data of Reliance. So here you can see the put call ratio, the ATM implied volatility, IV percentile, and max pain, and other details. So I don't usually use this. I just directly go into full option chain. So when you go into full option chain, the complete option chain of the stock will open. So here you can see the different strike prices at the center. So these are the strike prices. And then on the left hand side are the calls and right hand side are the puts. So let us say that I want to know the premium of 2700 call of this expiry. So here you can see the expiry. So let us go into the details of what all data is displayed on this page. So let's start with the expiry. So as you can see here that expiry is of 31st March. So I can change the expiry and check any expiry. So if you click over this drop down menu, you can select the April or May expiry as well. So now the next thing which we see is that at the center, as I told, that these are the strike prices. So all the option strike prices are displayed at the center. Now over here you can see that LTP column displays the last traded price of every contract. So if I want to know what is the premium of 2700 call, I will see this 2700 and premium is 5.9 rupees for the 2700 call, because the calls are on the left hand side and puts are on the right hand side. So now if you see, this is the open interest. Open interest is basically how many contracts are total currently open. And if you see at the last, this option Greek is also visible. So delta is also shown here on both the sides. So for put delta, it's on the right hand side, and call delta it's all on the left hand side. And if you want to know what is the current price of the stock, so it is displayed over here that currently the stock is at 2595. And over here, if you click on this info, it will display again a small snapshot where it can show you other details like what is the put call ratio. Put call ratio is 0.95 here. And if you click on 28th April, you can see the same details for 28th April as well. So 28th April expiry has 32 days left, and these are the details for 28th April. So as you can see, there's a slight difference in some of the data over here. Like you can see that the PCR put call ratio for 28th April is 0.62, whereas the put call ratio for 31st March is 0.95. And it also shows the max pain. So every data is visible in Sensible over here. So this is where I check the option chain. So you can see the call premiums and put premiums for a certain stock in the complete option chain. So the complete option chain is visible over here. You can see as far as 2000 strike price to 3140 strike price. Now coming to the option Greeks, we have the choice of seeing option Greeks also. You just have to click on settings, and delta is already turned on, so we can see the delta over here. If I want to say view the theta values, I'll just click on this slider and theta will also start getting displayed. So now you can see that theta has started coming on the extreme columns and delta is this. So you can see that the theta value of all the options is visible in the last column over here and over here as well. So similarly, you can turn on any other variable, like if you want to turn on vega, you can turn on vega also. Now you can see that vega is also visible. So I usually check the delta, theta and vega in sensible only because it's in a tabular way and I am able to understand this across the whole spectrum of prices. So I can check all the strike prices and I can check the various Greek values over here. So now coming to the second part. So we already discussed where to check the premiums and where is the option chain and option Greek. So these you can find it on Sensible. Now where to check the payoff chart for any option strategy. So let me give you an example of that as well. So for that you need to log in into Opstra Defineage. So this is the website which I use a lot, opstra.defineage.com. If you log into this website, you can create a free account. And then if you want to check any strategy, just click on options and you can go and click on a strategy builder. So now over here, you can just fill in the details of the trade that you want to take or you're thinking of taking, and it will draw the payoff chart. So let us say that I want to buy a call option of Reliance. So I want to buy 2700 call. So what will be my payoff? So I'll just choose Reliance over here. And payoff date I will keep as 31st March only. I want to see what is my payoff on 31st March. And I will be buying an option. So I have selected options. Expiry 31st March, option strike. I want to know for 2700. So 2700 call I am going to buy. So it has auto populated the option price, which is 5.9. Now if I do add position, it is showing me my payoff over here. So as you can see that it has plotted the chart of my payoff, and now I can see that plus 1x 31st March 2022 2700 call is bought at 5 rupee 90 paisa. My probability of profit is 12% only, and my maximum loss is 1475. So this is what I will lose if it does not go above 2700. So this is my maximum loss which can happen. Maximum profit is undefined because as high as the stock goes, my profit will continue to increase. So if let us say the stock ends at 2840, so my profit as shown here is 33,075. So it will continue to grow as the stock price moves up. So this is where you can add more strategies. So you can just add another position to this. Let us say I add another position. So I want to buy a put also. So let us say that I buy a 2480 or 2500 put. So now if I click here and I do 2500 put buy, and I click on add position. So now it has taken both the positions and it is showing me the payoff chart for that. That if it stays within a range of say 2480 to approximately 2700, I'll be having a loss. But if it goes outside either side, I'll be making a profit. So Opstra Defineage is a very good tool to plot your strategy payoff. So if you are planning to take any trade, you can just enter the trades here and then it will display you the payoff chart, and based on the payoff chart, you can get some idea on what could be your profit or loss depending on the expiry levels. So this is actually a very basic overview of how a strategy payoff chart looks like. We can always add more complexities to it. You can have some option cells also here, and you can maybe create more calendar spreads where you choose different expiries for different contracts. So maybe I'm buying March options and selling the April options or those kind of things. So you can use this payoff. So you can use this payoff chart. So you can use this payoff builder. So you can use this strategy builder for all the purposes, and you can check your payoff accordingly. But we will not be going into much details of this because this is just a basic overview of how you can see how much profit or loss you are going to have. So now coming back to the third point, how where to check the IVs and results and other information about the FNO stocks. So if we go back to Opstra Define Edge and we click on options dashboard, it will open a dashboard of all the futures and options enabled stocks. So here you can see the list of all the stocks which are there, and you can also see the IVs of these. So this is a dashboard which I use a lot to decide on which options, which stocks to trade options on, because there is a lot of data if you see. So here is the result column. So if you see the green bell icon, you hover over it, you will see that results are coming close. So if I know that results of a stock are coming close, then probably its IVs will spike, implied volatility will go up. So and similarly, if you see here Atul Auto 25th March 2022 results were there, and similarly, so wherever I can see that results are there, it can be an actionable data point, that if results are near, maybe if I don't want to take a trade, results are risky, I will avoid them. Similarly, I also see the column of IV change. So IV change, I can sort out according to IV change, and if I click here, you can see that some of the stocks have had IV spikes. So IV has grown actually. So if you see Concor went up by 10% in the last session. So since the stock went up 10% and its IV has spiked by 50% approximately. So if IV has grown, then there's a very high chance that I will be getting good premiums on both the sides. So we will not be going into the details of IV and why high IV is good for an option seller and bad for an option buyer, because I will be covering IV and other option Greeks in a different video. So you can see that here there is one more data point which I look at, which is the straddle. So what does this mean is that straddle premium as a percentage of the futures price. So if I sell the straddle, ATM straddle, how much money will I be able to get? So it is compared to the futures price. So if straddle percentage is very high, then it probably means that I am going to get a good premium on both calls and puts. So you can see that Zeal has a very high straddle premium. So currently it is 6.25% of the stock price, which can be considered high. So if I see, suppose in this dashboard, I see that some stock has a straddle premium of 10 or 12%, then I am safe till a 10, 20, 12% move in the stock. So I would be happy to take that kind of a straddle trade. So what are straddles and what are strangles, I will be covering in a different video, but these are the data points basically. So if you already know what is a straddle, then you can just look at this column and figure out that which is a good trade to take. So guys, that was all about the data points which I wanted to bring to your notice, that where can we see all the data. Hope you liked the video, and if you have any doubts, maybe you can just ask me in the comments. So thanks guys, thanks for watching.